Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Roman Reigns is miffed at Paul Heyman. The wise man chose Reigns' bitter enemy, CM Punk, over him for one night at WrestleMania 41. Heyman's swerve on SmackDown certainly hasn't gone down well with Reigns, and the big dog can teach him a lesson. Roman Reigns can bring one of his cousins to seemingly bring Heyman back to his senses. Earlier, it was Solo Sikoa who had used Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga to go against his wishes. Now, Roman Reigns can turn heel and bring in a 6'8" superstar, Hikuleo, to WWE. The former NJPW star had signed with WWE last year in June and was expected to make his debut through NXT, but that didn't happen. Since Hikuleo is tall, skilled, and comes from a strong wrestling family, he can be a big deal in WWE. He was rumored to make his debut at Survivor Series War Games last year as the fifth member of the clan to take on the OG bloodline. However, that didn't happen. The OTC can bring in Hikuleo at WrestleMania 41 during the triple threat match. Since Paul Heyman would be accompanying CM Punk and might also help him win the match, Reigns can take Hikuleo's assistance to triumph over both Seth Rollins and Punk. Later, after winning the match, the former WWE champion can ask Hikuleo to assault Heyman and send him packing for the next few months. Paul Heyman showed up on Monday Night Raw this week and said that he will not betray his tribal chief, Roman Reigns, at any cost. However, Seth Rollins later came out and reminded the wise man that his tribal chief was nowhere to be seen when Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga put him through the announce table in front of his children last year. By the end of the segment, the visionary had laid a curb stomp on CM Punk and told Heyman that the wise man now owes him a favor. The fans now wonder what kind of favor Seth Rollins can ask for. The speculation is that Rollins might ask Heyman to be his new wise man and betrayed Roman Reigns and CM Punk in the process. This would be the biggest shocker of the night since Heyman has never been with Seth Rollins in the past. The wise man can turn heel on night 1 of WrestleMania 41 and choose the visionary as his new client. In the end, it will be interesting to see how this whole triple threat match plays out at WrestleMania 41. Muhammad Bilal is a trends writer for Sportskeeda Wrestling. He worked for Eat Energy World, India Today, and Pink Villa before joining Sportskeeda to pursue his passion for pro wrestling. He completed his diploma in English journalism from the Indian Institute of Mass Communication, New Delhi. He strives to report accurate and relevant information by cross-checking facts or rumors multiple times on various platforms and sites. Bilal has been a pro wrestling fan since childhood, with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson being his favorite wrestler. One of his first memories is of the final boss confronting Hulk Hogan in 2002, which got him hooked to pro wrestling. Bilal is amazed by The Rock's unmatched dedication to everything he does. However, if he ever got a chance to go back to the Attitude Era and manage someone, it would be Goldberg. When not watching or writing about pro wrestling, Bilal loves to read books on politics and international relations, and sometimes crime thrillers. In the world of WWE, few alliances have been as formidable and as complicated as the one between Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman. The tribal chief and the wise man have been at the top of the food chain for years, ruling SmackDown with an iron grip and a chessboard of manipulation. Together, they've dismantled champions, built legacies, and maintained the bloodline's supremacy. But even the strongest alliances can fray under the weight of ambition. Lately, cracks have begun to show. Heyman's recent behavior, his cryptic backstage conversations, subtle hesitations, and suspicious loyalties haven't gone unnoticed. Some fans have speculated that Heyman may be playing a dangerous double game, subtly aligning himself with other superstars to hedge his bets in the unpredictable tides of WWE. Roman Reigns, a master strategist himself, isn't the kind of man to overlook such disrespect. And now he's ready to remind everyone, including his special counsel, why he's called the head of the table. The time has come for Reigns to teach Paul Heyman a lesson, one that will shake the foundations of SmackDown, and he plans to do it with the arrival of a new force. a 6'8" monster. The seeds of this storyline could be sown over several weeks. Roman grows increasingly distrustful of Heyman, who becomes more and more anxious during the Bloodline segments. Perhaps Heyman drops the ball during a crucial title defense promo. Maybe he fails to secure a strategic alliance. Or worse, he's caught backstage speaking quietly to someone from Reigns' list of enemies. Solo Sikoa might sense something. Jimmy Uso might fuel the paranoia. Tension builds. One Friday night on SmackDown, Roman calls for an official Bloodline acknowledgement ceremony. Heyman nervously stands beside him in the ring as the tribal chief speaks, flanked by his enforcers. The crowd watches in silence as Reigns eyes Heyman and says, "You've been with me through everything, but lately your loyalty feels conditional. That's not how this works. That's not how family works." "I told you before," Roman continues. "If you disrespect me, if you even think about betraying me, I'll deal with you myself." Heyman stammers, tries to defend himself, but Reigns raises a hand. "You're not gonna be talking your way out of this, wise man. Tonight you're gonna learn a lesson." Cue the lights dropping. The arrival of the monster. The arena goes black. A strange guttural growl fills the air. A pounding heartbeat echoes. The Titantron comes to life with visuals of burning tribal symbols, shattered crowns, and bloodied chains. Then, slowly emerging from a mist of smoke, comes a figure unlike anything SmackDown has seen in years. A 6'8", 300-plus-pound monster. Tattooed, scared, and ominously silent, walks down the ramp with terrifying purpose. Dressed in black tactical gear, he exudes primal force. The commentary team is speechless. "Who the hell is that?" Michael Cole shouts. Corey Graves chimes in. "I don't know, but he looks like he was forged in fire and fed chaos for breakfast." Roman stares directly at Heyman as the giant climbs into the ring. The crowd is on their feet, foams out, buzzing with disbelief. This is not just a debut. This is a declaration. Reigns turns and looks at Heyman again. This is what happens to people who forget who made them. The monster grabs Heyman by the collar. The wise man begs, pleads. His voice cracks. But there's no mercy here. With one arm, the beast lifts Heyman and slams him with a devastating powerbomb through a ceremonial table in the ring's corner. Reigns watches, cold, calculating, and unflinching. For the first time in years, Paul Heyman is left broken in the ring, and no one comes to save him. The monster's purpose. The next week, SmackDown opens with a promo video recapping the carnage. Roman comes to the ring alone, championship draped over his shoulder, and the crowd chanting in equal parts awe and fear. He speaks into the microphone with quiet intensity. Paul Heyman thought he was irreplaceable. He thought this bloodline was built on his whispering schemes. He forgot that it was built on my dominance, my blood, my sweat, my name. So I reminded him. He then introduces the WWE Universe to his new enforcer, Leviathan. Leviathan, the 6'8" monster, is not just muscle. He's an extension of Roman's will. He doesn't speak. He doesn't emote. He exists to destroy, to intimidate, to eliminate threats before they grow into problems. With Leviathan by his side, Roman's grip on SmackDown tightens. Matches end quicker. Segments grow darker. Backstage superstars whisper about walking on eggshells. Reigns doesn't need to raise his voice anymore because the monster speaks in violence. But Paul Heyman is not a man who stays down for long. The following week, he returns, bruised, humiliated, but not broken. For the first time in years, we see him vulnerable, but dangerous. Heyman doesn't beg for forgiveness. He doesn't cry for sympathy. He plots. This sets up a rich new chapter. Heyman as a rogue agent, perhaps even forming his own anti-bloodline faction. He knows Roman better than anyone. He's the architect of countless careers. If he can find the right talent, maybe someone like Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes, or even a returning Randy Orton, he could begin building a resistance. Leviathan then becomes the ultimate obstacle, a seemingly unstoppable force that protects Reigns' empire. For any challenger to get to Roman, they have to go through him. This storyline injects a jolt of fresh energy into SmackDown. while also deepening the legacy of the Bloodline saga. It opens up a variety of storytelling avenues. A monster versus rising babyface feud. Leviathan becomes the gatekeeper of the main event scene. Heyman's redemption arc. He's forced to rely on his cunning without Roman's protection. The Bloodline's further evolution. Roman becomes more authoritarian, more isolated, more dangerous. And perhaps months down the line, in a moment of poetic justice, Heyman outsmarts Reigns once and for all by turning Leviathan against his master. But for now, the message is clear.